Welcome to the next episode of Trade Talks with Alachua Home Pros. We are here with Keough Electric, and Steve's going to talk about those outdoor outlets, why they're not working. When they have something plugged into them, you got your lights on or whatever, and they automatically go out, what that problem is. So welcome, Steve. Tell me a little bit about how you got into the business. Keough Electric, this is you. You're Mr. Keough, right?
Yeah.
And give me some background there.
In places my father did that. Yes. Fourth generation electrician. My great-great-grandfather was an electrician in the 1990s.
Nice.
It's in my DNA.
All right, so we're out, and I got something outside, and they go out, and I go to the breaker box. And I'm like, all right, well, I must have lost power somewhere. And I go to the breaker box. I try to find what that breaker is, and it doesn't seem to be tripped. Is that where I should be looking?
No, it is not. That is the wrong place. 90% of the time, it's going to be your GFI outlets that is protected.
All right, you're using big words here.
Yeah,
My GFI.
big letters.
Big letters.
Big letters.
Right. So what is GFI?
It is a ground fault interrupter. What that does is it protects you, the homeowner, from getting electrically shocked by your outlets.
Give you a little tingly when you touch it or whatever.
Yeah.
Possibly kill you.
Yes, possibly kill you.
So, ground fault interrupter, so how I understand it is electricity is going down this thing, and I want it to stay in that unit and not through me. And if it senses it goes through me, what happens?
It will trip. It has a little detector and it trips the outlets. It stops power from continuing on past that point, so it doesn't hurt or injure or bleed out wherever it is.
So it may shock you, but it shouldn't kill you.
Correct.
So we got GFI, ground fault. All right. So those are outdoor outlets?
That is your outdoor outlets. That's your kitchen outlets, your bathroom, garage, anything near any sort of ground fault protection is for any water elements that you're in.
All right, so if I go outside and I look at all my outlets, every single outlet outside will have that special outlet?
No, so GFIs can control up to 5 outlets after GFI. So if you have outside outlets, typically you're going to go there and it's not going to have the GFI, that little button that these outlets. It's going to be a regular outlet. You have to go into your garage, your bathrooms, or your kitchens to find the trips GFI outlet. You can have them in the series.
So my landscaping lights go out outside, and it could have tripped in my kitchen that caused it to go out outside.
Possibly. Typically it's your garage or your bathroom or outside.
Is there a way to find that out as a homeowner, and I go out and it's the one on the side of my house, like around my master bedroom? Is that one going to be in my garage or?
That really depends on your electrician and wiring, how they wired it in series. Typically, they're going to go to the closest GFI. But some like to keep all the garage outlet, all the outside outlets on the garage GFI, and then keep the bathroom separate, which is how we do it now.
So, but back in my house, the 1970s house, it could be in my master bathroom.
It could be in your master bathroom, it could be in your kitchen, it could be anything.
It could be I call you to find it.
Because you're looking for those little outlets with the buttons.
The buttons on it.
GFI.
Now, do I need something to press it in? I mean, if it's going to shock me,
It won't shock you. The buttons are plastic, but typically you want some sort of pen just to lightly press it. There's a test and a reset button. So if neither one of those buttons do anything, that's when you head into the breaker box or be the change.
all right. So how often do I have to test it? The test button. And how often do I got to go around? Is that testing it as in if there was a problem, it will trip, or is it just testing that there's electricity there?
Well, it's doing both. So the test is you're supposed to test it every 3 months.
All right. So add that to your list of air conditioning filters, smoke detector batteries, GFI, and testing.
Yes.
All right, making a little list. All right, so I tested it and I pressed the reset button and it pops out. What does that tell me?
It tells me that something in the line has been tripped. So at that point, what I would do is I would go around and unplug everything from those outlets that are on. Find every outlet in that series, and I would make sure everything's unplugged. It still isn't holding. Now I know I have something internally wrong with itself or something else.
So, how do you test an outlet that's not working? I mean, I don't imagine you go around with a paper clip and stick it in each one and see if.
Well, I guess that's why with the Alachua Home Pros, is that tools to come to test on this.
Gotcha. So you got a device that can go around and find out the ones that are on that circuit.
Yes.
So unplug everything that's on that circuit, go back to that outlet, hit the reset button again, and if it holds.
You know everything's good, then you go back.
So that means the circuits, all the plugs are good.
That's all your plugs in that circuit. Something else plugged in, that's plugged in.
So then I go back and I start plugging things back in. Any chance of shocking me now?
No, you may get a slight arc from when you plug in that device from say that GFI stuff in the trip.
Okay.
But you won't have a chance.
So I'm plugging them back in, and when I find the bad one, it's going to trip. So what causes that? You know, if it's, say, landscape light, what do we think is causing that landscape light to cause that outlet to trip?
So it's like you were saying earlier, electricity, it's going on a path. It's running towards that outlet. It's constantly going there. And it's coming back. And the GFI is reading those. Something starts to bleed out on the negative side. It's not getting the correct voltage coming back. It's going to trip that. It's going to, for your safety, so it doesn't get any more electricity flowing. What can cause it is many different things. It could be a bad motor. It could be a nicked wire. It could be something sitting in some sort of water, an extension cord being plugged in that is sitting in water. Your low voltage lights could be in water.
So it's obviously a problem. Like if it trips, there's a problem.
Some sort of
So I shouldn't tape it in so it doesn't. I shouldn't just change it out altogether with one that isn't protected.
correct.
If I put a regular outlet there, it wouldn't trip. Everything would work, right?
It worked, but you maybe
something.
yes.
All right, so don't change it. What are some of the other things that they protect? Like you said, water. So what parts of my house should I go around looking to see, do I have one of these outlets there? And if not, what do I do?
So your kitchen and your bathrooms, those are your main areas. Anything, any house built before about the 1960s, kitchens were not GFI protected. Bathrooms, kitchens, laundry rooms, garages, we have the door open, water to get in. If you have any docks leaking by water, by docks, GFI protected, especially docks, anything by pools. It's basically anything with water, like GFI protected.
So if there's any chance that whatever I'm using, I can come in contact with something that could short it out, like water. What about some of like the older houses in the area? Is there any benefit to adding them in places that don't have water as an issue?
GFI outlets are also great for cloth wiring, no grounds. Insurance companies now are really cracking down on cloth wiring, canceling policies because of this cloth wiring. There's a couple of different options that you can do that later date with GFI outlets. It's a cheap and easy way to protect your house from fire.
So how do I know if I got cloth wiring? What would it look like?
Well, it looks like it sounds, cloth. It almost looks like a fat wick to a candle, which is why we're trying to get rid of it. It's because the outside, when there's a fire or an arc, the outside exterior of the wire can't catch on fire. It's basically an entire map of your house.
And then you said something that's not grounded. How do I know if my outlets aren't grounded?
Well, a couple ways. One, you have the outlets with the 2 slots without the ground hole, so that those are not grounded.
The ground hole being the round
Round one at the bottom. Yeah, you have a 2 slot, you know, no ground. The other way is they make simple cheap plug-in testers that you can buy at any store, Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, or Fraser. Little plug-in testers that you can see that tells you no ground.
So where would I ask you to come in and say, hey, put one of these protections in here? Can you do it at the breaker box? Does it have to be at the outlet? I mean, aesthetically, the whole house looks this way. I don't really want this big old blocky thing with buttons on it.
Right, they do make GFI breakers where I come in and put the GFI protection in his hand.
And that protects everything on
Everything
it.
on that one, yes.
And then they don't look ugly in the house.
Even though it's
Then I don't have to actually drive around all the outside and all the inside to find out which one.
right, you can just
and just go to my break. See, I told you I went to the breaker box in the beginning. I'm just going to change it all out to the breaker box.
I can do that for you for anything.
And I never have to go around. Anything else we need to know about GFIs or outdoor lighting or anything like that?
So GFIs are an easy, quick thing to change out. A lot of homeowners love to do it. The thing that they don't know is that GFIs, because they work in a series, they have to go in a particular voltage wire. So a lot of homeowners will call me and they put in a new GFI outlet, but nothing's still running flat. When you look at the back of the GFI, there is a line and a load. Your line is your feed coming in. That's where the feed comes into your GFI, and then everything after that is being protected by that GFI. So that if any outlet after that gets tripped, it will be protected. But if you flip those on the GFIs and don't install them correctly, it will not work out. So you have to pay attention to putting things in.
It sounds to me like you're saying, don't call Uncle Buck or the handyman down the street, that there's more to it than just going to the hardware store, picking up one of these fancy dancy things, taking the size, you could hurt yourself, or it not do what you expect, and then it doesn't protect it when it needs to be protected.
Don't ever call call professionals.
All right, well, it was great having you here. Is there anything else you want to leave us before we go?
No, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
All right, that's another episode of Trade Talks with Alachua Home Pros.